Jon Jones is undoubtedly one of the UFC's all-time GOATs.
Jon Jones remains the UFC light heavyweight champion.
But French MMA fighter Ciryl Gane seems to hate his guts. Before they face off in UFC 285 for the heavyweight title, Gane sent out a serious threat to Jones. He told Jones that he was taking him too lightly, and that no way in hell he was getting an easy fight. In fact, he told him to expect an even more vicious beatdown than against UFC's former heavyweight, Francis Ngannou. Originally, the fight was going to be for Ngannou's belt, but since he's left now, Jones and Gane were matched up by Dana White to fight for the unclaimed belt. Everybody's heard of the legend Jones, but in comparison, Gane is still a newbie. He only just started out in 2018, but he said that he can still cause some serious damage, because apparently, he's way more versatile than his rival. He joked around and said that he was more well-rounded than Ngannou, and that would probably make it harder for Jones to knock him out. But you could tell he was hungry for blood. If I was Jones, I'd be seriously worried right about now. He would have had an easier time with Ngannou, honestly, but with Gane, even their physiques seem more well-matched, and that's scary. Ngannou could have knocked out either of them with a single punch, but both of these guys are tactical and like to control the situation, so they're way more similar than they'd like to admit, and that's probably one of the reasons why Ciryl hates Jones so much. But I'm really excited because this is gonna be good. But Gane didn't always hate his rival. When his interest in martial arts was just starting out, he was trying to develop. He said he thought Jones was the greatest fighter in the UFC of all time. Sitting after his practice sessions, he would watch the GOAT's techniques trying to learn more. He said he used to think he was the most well-rounded out of all the fighters, and his career was just straight up inspiring. Now he's coming up against him, fighting against his childhood hero, but he said he just wants to beat him because he doesn't think he's worthy anymore, and he's going to give him the most difficult matchup style-wise he's ever seen.
You heard him. You heard him. You heard him with a jab.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he it might be it. Junior Dos Santos, 7-0 for Ciryl Gane. Wow.
It's clear the hate is just getting out of hand at this point, and it's not hard to see why, because Jones never misses an opportunity to rile him up further. He said he would have taken anybody instead of Gane, even Ngannou. Gane took notice of this and has made a vow to make him regret saying that. The legendary heavyweight champ Ngannou has spent years making people wonder if he's actually retired, because he was handling some personal and legal problems. He also had a huge beef with the UFC over his contract, but things changed, and they finally offered him a new contract. He managed to settle for the insanely high-paying deal that guarantees him 8 fights, but he shared some details, and said that he was only offered 3 choices for his dramatic return to the ring. Dana White had actually told him he would fight Stipe Miocic, but that never came true either. So instead, he settled on Ngannou and spent the day in and day out training for the match. He had a whole training camp thing going on for almost 3 years and was totally in the zone, but they just couldn't settle on an agreement, and he said he settled for the fight with Gane. Obviously, he's not dumb. He knows that Gane poses more than a serious threat. He's just trying to get under his skin. And judging by the way Ciryl has been fuming lately, it seems that he succeeded. Jones said that it took away the whole point of winning the heavyweight belt because he was going against someone who was just a nobody. Ouch! Imagine your childhood hero saying that to your face. That's gotta hurt. He said Ngannou was the most intimidating person he could have been matched up against, and he was more famous in America too. So that makes for a fight worth seeing. Now nobody is going to tune in to watch them. Taking the belt from the person who actually held it would have had more impact, and Jones didn't even stop there. He said that even Stipe Miocic would have been better, because he was the greatest heavyweight he's ever seen. And all in all, he was just bummed having to fight Gane. Jon Jones also said he's faced much better fighters in his career. He said he wasn't concerned at all about the threat his opponent could be. The former champ came on his Twitter account and took some questions from his fans, and someone asked him if he thought Gane was the most dangerous striker he's ever gone against.
Look at this, look for a head and arm choke of the jiu-jitsu guy. Wow.
Now the thing is, the problem for Gane is that... Oh, look at
there's the tap!
There's the tap!
Welcome to the UFC, Ciryl Gane!
And that could actually be very true, because Ciryl Gane used to be a Muay Thai fighter before joining the MMA. That's a lethal combo of moves he has in his arsenal. He actually went 13-0 winning in the sport. This is just insane, and we've all seen how ruthless he can be. He's easily outmaneuvered and overpowered Alexander Volkov, Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis, and Jarinzo Rosenstruck.
And that is it! France has a UFC champion, Ciryl Gane! The interim UFC heavyweight champion, total domination on the road tonight!
So calling him just another average Joe in UFC was just blatant disrespect, and Gane is just keeping a mental note of all the things his rival is saying now. Seems like we're going to see him take out his revenge in the ring. That's gonna be painful to watch. For who? Nobody is sure yet. Jones said that he's faced off against Lyoto Machida and Thiago Santos when he was only 205 pounds, and they were way more dangerous than Gane. He also pointed out that it isn't even a kickboxing match, where Gane might be at an advantage since he's fought people way more intimidating. He seems to be at peace, blissfully unaware of what's awaiting him. According to him, he thinks he's going to give Gane a major whooping, because he's only gotten more explosive and quicker with time. He said he's trained so much that he has knockout power that he's never shown anyone before. The fight is going to be a showdown for the ages. That much is clear. The UFC's heavyweight division is eager to see how the historic light heavyweight champion is going to perform. He originally gave up his title in 2020 to move up a division, but that hasn't left him at a disadvantage. His lengthy layoff, as well as the fact that he appeared kinda weak in his most recent 2 heavyweight fights, are making people doubt if he should have really pushed himself to move up and made an enemy of Gane as quickly as he has. Don't want to jinx it for him, but bad move, man. But Gane is probably a bit relaxed now, seeing Jones' latest fights. He hasn't competed in years and was taking way more hits than usual. Almost looked like taking him down was gonna be too easy for Gane, though he is definitely also sweating Jones' abilities. The former heavyweight champion is one of the best wrestlers in MMA history, in addition to being a skilled striker and submission specialist.
He's fighting at range. Arlovsky fires, just misses, and Gane comes over the top of the left, and boom, beautiful follow-up to his counter with that right hand. And look, that is not Ngannou's best punch.
Gane should be concerned about this aspect of the matchup, given that Ngannou took him down several times, even without a wrestling background. But given Jon Jones' history of using banned substances in his fights to win, I'd be a bit more hesitant in calling him the greatest of all time. That's all for today. See you in the next video.